It's window install day, guys. I am really excited about putting windows in this thing. I've been working in the dark for a while. Now, again, this is not going to be a how to put windows in the camper or trailer or whatever you want to call it. This is just going to be me putting windows in the trailer. What I'm thinking about doing is one here. I was originally going to do one in the door, and then possibly another one in the future towards the bottom for my dogs to have something to look out of. But I've since changed my mind and decided I'm going to do one about here. And one reason for changing my mind is because I think I'd like to do a flip out like a breakfast table here on the inside. And I think it'd be nice to have it, well, right next to a window. And then I got one more of these. I got a pair of these just off of Amazon. I'm going to do about here, but on the other side. So we get a little bit of a cross flow breeze, when available, when the windows are open. So that's it for the moment. I'll probably do a little bit of video during the install, maybe. I got rain coming this afternoon, so I hope I can get both windows in today before the rain gets here. So that's it. Y'all stay tuned. We'll see how this stuff turns out. One thing I just thought about maybe I should clarify on before somebody decides to bust my man parts about punching holes in the trailer. If you watched my air conditioning video, I was pretty adamant about not wanting to punch holes in the trailer. I just didn't want to do that. But I need to be clear. I really meant punching holes in the trailer, like big giant square holes for vents and air conditioning sticking through. I don't really have a problem putting holes in the trailer for things like windows and the utility type stuff. So just to be clear, that's really what I meant, and I probably should have clarified that a little bit better in my air conditioning video. So everybody, that's my whole reasoning behind it's okay to punch holes now, but not earlier. Well, that's where it's going. Laid it out on the inside. Used that switch that I removed to measure out the frame just to be cautious. Drilled some pilot holes all the way through. Placed it, taped it. Now we're fixing to cut a big freaking hole. All right, we got a big ass hole in the side of the trailer that actually cut out really well. A lot easier than I anticipated with trying to cut the outer skin and this. The polycore cut great. I just used kind of a fine tooth metal blade just to experiment with, and it did really well. The hardest part I had about cutting was, where they've got these trim pieces on the inside for the overlapping plywood. It got a little jumpy on that, but other than that, it was no big deal. I am glad I had this switch that I took out. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it was just one of those ones the trailer builder put in. They had it right there. And, just for an overhead light that I might reuse on something else. Well, I took that out and used the hole that they had there. Again, that's one of the reasons I placed the window right here, so I could get rid of that. But used the hole to feed my tape measure in both sides. And I'm really glad I did that because I have got very little room here on the sides. It's like an eighth or so over here before I hit the frame, maybe a quarter on the other side. I was going to back this with wood on the inside to give the window something to clamp in on, but I don't really need to since I'm going to be clamping on the steel. So, yeah, and these wires here, again, from the old switch, I'm just yanking this out. I'm not using it. Let me see if I can get this window installed, and then we'll work on the other one. Everything that happens is motivation. All right, the window is installed, sealed, ready to rock and roll. I gotta make this real quick. Just like I thought, afternoon storms are coming in. I am so glad I did not already start cutting a hole for the other window. The other window is just gonna have to wait till next weekend. But as you can see, this one is in, and well, it's a freaking window. Install went pretty nice. I did have a little bit too much gap in the wall thickness for my particular window, but once the trim ring on the inside was tightened up, it's only like a 1/4 inch gap on the trim ring. I'm just going to deal with that at a later date. But I like it. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I'm happy with the placement. There is zero room for movement side to side. I have frame right here and frame right here. So it's either this window goes here or this window goes here, you know, that kind of thing. There's no moving it over like 6 inches or something like that. I like it. I'm tickled. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? If you're curious what I used to seal this with, I did not use the typical RV, what do they call it, Butol tape. That's sticky stuff on a roll. I know a lot of people love that stuff, and it's on RVs everywhere. I didn't have any, and I just don't personally really like it. I have seen it leak, but it's not really because of the tape itself or the material. It's usually just because somebody did a crappy job of installing it. I used this. I have been working on boats for 30 years now. I have used this Boat Life Life Seal on many applications. This stuff is excellent. It is a type of silicone. It has a very strong adhesive quality, and it just freaking works. I was much more comfortable with using this, and this is the product I will use to seal anything that punches through the walls of the trailer. But I was much more comfortable using this to seal my window than using a Butol tape, if that's how you pronounce it. Oh yeah, here comes the rain, so this shit's getting ready to get tested. I gotta hurry up and pick tools up. All right, y'all, that's my window video. I still gotta put the second window in. It is gonna go in directly behind you guys on the opposite wall. Guess I'll do that next weekend. Rain's starting to come down pretty good right now. I was able to throw all my tools, trash, everything in a cardboard box, and I just tossed it in my shed. And yeah, that's it. Storms are here. Boy, I'm glad I didn't cut the other hole in the side of the trailer. AC is kicking it in here. If anybody's curious how well that's working, it's super freaking comfortable. So maybe I'll work on the cabinetry a little bit more this afternoon. Otherwise, that's a wrap. Not much else I can say about a window other than it's a window. Measure 7.5 times and then cut your hole. So, yeah, y'all be good and stay tuned for the rest of the build.